How you doing, Collective? Come on in. If this is the first time visiting my channel, welcome in. Returning subscriber, thank you. Check out the first messages. It'll explain everything because I'm just moving forward. So I'm gonna pull some cards for any pass on loved ones. I'm gonna shuffle though. So if you have any pass on loved ones, they're gonna come through right now. As I'm shuffling, I'm gonna explain how I got to this point and what is going on. And I hope these cards are okay. So, passed on loved ones, my mediumship abilities. I knew my father was gonna pass before he passed. Okay, this message is only gonna resonate with a few right now when you come across it. If you have somebody that's passing or that you're taking care of, it may be sooner. Spend every moment of time that you can with them. Again, forgiveness, forgiving yourself, holding in pain. You can't have any regrets. So spend every moment of time that you can wisely so that you have no heartache, so you have no regret, because that will kill you yourself. That will put grace. That will do something to you that sometimes people can't come back from. And what I'm picking up is that they don't want you to live like that. So going back to knowing my father was going to pass before he did. Well, when you have messengers, again, I'm clairvoyant, so I can see the energy. And when they, again, messages, so take what resonates and leave the rest. So when they're saying you're communicating with the higher power, well, my father was a minister, pastor, and I was telling my father, again, my father, there's some things, but you have to forgive. So when I knew that, well, we talk more, and I'm glad I did, because it gave me the clarity. And no matter what, they're still your parents, but you have to forgive. You cannot blame them for how you grew up, even though you may not have had the best childhood or whatever the case is. You can't blame them, because there's no book in being a parent. There's no, again, forgiveness is for yourself, no matter what, not for the other person. So knowing that my father was going to pass, we talk more, and I try to get him on this path. Again, there's a difference between, well, Christianity, Catholics, all those religions, than it is spirituality, because we're talking about the higher realms, 13Ds, 5Ds, things that you can't see, energies, reincarnations, higher power, understanding things you can't understand, and knowing things you don't know, and understanding these gifts that you have and developing them. And that was one thing that along my way is developing. You cannot question if this is something you're doing or you're thinking about. Well, one suggestion is, well, get in alignment with yourself. But the first thing that pops into your head, that's what you say. So that's just a piece of advice. But knowing that my father was going to pass, it just gave me the ability to speak with him the time that he was here and see him and things like that. So there was no, again, regrets. I know he's around me, and I use my story as a journey. So I know if I can change, anybody can. Even with the hardships of reading and writing, things like that, spelling, the insecurities that you think you have, everything is a projection. So it's something that was taught. So it's your insecurities. So you can't have any insecurities when you're on this journey, because it's not easy to ask somebody, do they have a pass on love, and then channel for them, and so that you don't seem crazy. 555. So knowing that my father was going to pass, understanding things, I was able to speak to him more and get some clarity and help him on his journey. And that's what I was doing. And I did speak to him before he went into his coma. And again, knowing that we were going to have to make the decision to pull the plug, he did it for us. Everything happens for a reason. So my niece telling me on the way to St. Louis could be significant. On the way to St. Louis, I get the phone call, that he's passed. We didn't have to do it, but that whole way I knew he was there with me. You could listen to the same song over and over, something like that. That's what I was picking up. That's what I was doing. I was listening to the same song over and over as I was flying to go meet my brother and sister and stepmother and things like that, so that we can make the decision. It was either do that or put him in a home, in hospice. I know my father wouldn't want that. So again, he did the noble thing, and I spoke to him before he went under, and so that's this journey. That's what has helped me, and helping another person fills my heart with joy to be able to bring them some clarity. So that's what this has been about, and that's what this is about. So the earth is our school. Again, teaching. Like I said, cards are confirmations. So that's what I had as far as preparing for these messages. That's what was coming through, that the universe is going to come out in the cards. They're just confirmation. And here again, you got a book. So again, highly aspect of a teacher, that's on the other side, that's coming through. Your loved one could have been a teacher, or you could be wanting to go back to school, or projects. So let's see what's happening. Don't be afraid. Again, the water. Again, don't be afraid. See, and these aren't even cards of I feel that somebody's passed on. This is just things that I'm picking up for you as far as the viewer, that on this journey, don't be afraid. Like I said, there's no book on being a parent or life, but common sense is going to help you on your journey. So just don't be afraid. Again, something about the water, though. Understanding that we're not alone. And again, like I said, this earth is our school. So what I'm getting is, whatever you're afraid of, and this one too, remember me by happy memories we created. Again, they want you to remember the positive, happy thoughts, the happy times that y'all had, that were there. But going back 929, as I was saying, knowing that my father was going to pass, it wasn't an easy thing to accept, but you have to understand it's a part of life, it's a cycle. So on my journey in developing my gifts, it was to help people that had lost somebody unexpectedly. And that's what I'm here for. There's other mediums. There's a lot, but I come across people on my path, and that's what this channel is for people that I have come across 1010 as I'm giving this message, because they are awakening and it's giving them a little bit of insight and some messages. So let's get two cards that the ancestors, their past on loved ones, want to say to you, your higher self. And flippers, please. Just something about floating. Flippers for the viewer. Flippers. Oh, wow. Again, yellow could be significant to the bottom of the deck. Again, that card. I have no earthly worries. That card. Flowers are significant though, because it's a yellow on the bottom of this deck, and then got another yellow flower. So yellow flowers. Flowers right here. We are soulmates. I watch over you every day. Again, your loved ones are always around you. I know my father and my mother's always around me. My loved ones are always around me. Again, we have to understand magic. We have to understand spells. I'm not going to bring any of that energy in here, but I'm just going to explain a little bit. I had to understand about black magic and what was thrown over my bloodline, and breaking generational curses and things like that. Also, understanding what magic is, and that it's real, but with the power of the Lord and your ancestors, it can affect you. So remember, that is real, and jealousy and envy, all those things are taught to you. Those are things that you pick up. You should never be jealous of anybody or envious or anything. You should love yourself, learn how to love yourself, and that's what this journey is about. I thought I loved myself, and no, I didn't. So that's this healing journey. So you have nothing to feel guilty about. Again, that's so any past on loved ones are always around you. Again, you could have a soulmate coming in, or you find each other in every lifetime. And again, you have nothing to feel guilty about. And that's picking up, if there's somebody that's going to pass, then make sure you have nothing to feel guilty about. Make sure that you do everything you can now. And that doesn't mean, it's just handle the business now. And like they said, don't bring me flowers or cry now when I'm gone. Show me everything now so that you can have no regrets. Meaning, tell them you love them now so that they can hear you, even though they hear you after they're gone. Let them know now so that you can have no guilt about anything. So you can have no worries about whatever the case is. Because knowing that my father was going to pass, like I said, wasn't, and it's not that he was sicker, and this is the thing. He wasn't sick. He was just a little older. Like I said, something happened. Something with his breathing. He went into, at home, I believe. And it's crazy that card came out of soulmates. Because, well, my father passing, like I said, he wasn't sick or anything. He was, had some complications, but nothing major, anything like that. So, but through the messages that would come through, one message came through that you're communicating, higher power, and they're communicating. Well, I would ask my father for prayers, and that's where everything started as far as on this journey of my ascension and spirituality. Not everybody knew, so anyways, they were saying that, and that's crazy that card came out. That's the back of the deck, and so anyways, I'm losing my train of thought. So, knowing my father was going to pass, I just seen 1444. You could be seeing that number a lot. Like I said, he wasn't going to pass. He wasn't supposed to pass. And knowing this, I turned around and we spoke more, and again got clarity, visiting. And I'm not saying if something's happening right now, it's going to happen right away. It's the way it came through, and this message needed to go out. Is that take everything, don't take anything for granted. Okay, knowing my father was going to pass, and again he didn't pass. It was maybe a year later. Again, tarot is time is fluid. Time is an illusion. We're all connected. So the moral of everything is if somebody's gonna pass or you're taking care of somebody, take time and have no regrets because you can't get those moments back. But I was picking up that shorter time than longer for some reason. I know coming up on 1616 as I'm giving this message. When the other card that I'm picking up, I'm gonna get one more. Let me get one more. One more. One more. Oh, yeah. This card again. There's no such thing as death. We're never alone. And that's strange. We're energy. And as they're asking, how do I know what's because your ancestors come through? But so as my father passed, they say broken-hearted people can die of a broken heart. It's the truth. Because pain, like I said, people's journey is all different. But as my father passed, dealing with that, then my stepmother passed like a year later. No, a year, I'm sorry. Something about a year. Less than a month after that. And she was young. My stepmother was younger than me. Dad. But I had heard her name a lot. Like I said, something about graduation. It's color red. Gabby. You know. Even though having half sisters, you know, my little sister losing her father, and then her mother right after that. You know, it's hard. And we had been together in dreams. You could have been dreaming purple. It was hard, and I couldn't imagine, you know, losing. I lost both my parents, so I mean, I know what it is and the pain. But hearing the names and again seeing the synchronicities, they're around you, and they're communicating with you. Again, like I said, 1818. There's no such thing as death. When they asked, "How do I know what I know?" It's the ancestors come through when they need to reach you. They're going to. And again, speaking, and I turned around and on my journey, you have to. You're not crazy, and that's why that card came out. What else could give you? Something about milk. You could be lactose intolerance. Something about a missing person. Something about cows, though. I don't know why I got missing person. Oh wow, that's crazy. Or you could be missing. You could just be finding yourself. I don't know what. Again, birds. Something about parakeets. Like birds, but birds are messengers. And there's all yellow right there, blue and green, pink. Again, transformation, butterflies. You know, when you start seeing a lot of signs and synchronicity like that, that's transformation. That's you're going through your ascensions, your ascension symptoms. Huh, this card just fly. Something about donuts. They could have worked at a donut place, or they could have loved donuts, or when you're eating donuts, feed them. You know, talk to them. When you're having a morning coffee, give them some. They're around. That's for somebody. Like I said, my stepmother passing, they say a broken heart. She was young, like I said, younger than me at the time. Well, at that time. She was always younger than me. So, her passing at the age, it was and 20 could be significant. Her passing at that time, it was like, wow, how could that happen? Well, doing a little bit of research, her the the bloodline, her members in her family, the women, died at a younger age. I want to say they said it was a brain aneurysm, but she passed away in her sleep. She just didn't wake up. But those are things aren't a coincidence. Like I said, that's, the pain you can never understand or know. But like I said, her passing, it was something that was unexpected. You know, so this message right here is telling you, if you have anybody that's passing, or you're dealing with that, overall, generally, don't take anything for granted. Don't take your loved ones for granted. And if you're having any problems, deal with them. Clear the air now so that you don't have any regrets or any regrets. Till next time.